Hi everybody, and today I have some new news that I want to share with you, and I'm going to talk a little bit about an experience that I had last night and then this morning. I'm unsure if I'm just going to talk about it. So I had an odd experience this week. I've talked about the oddities that I've been experiencing since December 10th, and now it's the 20th. So I'm still experiencing oddities, but kind of nervous to talk about this because it's so strange. And I don't know, I don't want your perception to alter, and that's a concern for me, so I don't know if I want to share something that might be taken the wrong way. So I had a moment earlier this week where I stumbled across a YouTube video. And I don't often explore other people's adventures and what their discoveries are because I don't want to alter what comes to me from the spirit world, just a pure connection that I get just from experiencing. I want my understanding of things to remain as my understanding, and I don't want to intertwine my understanding with somebody else's understanding, and then I don't know how to describe my feelings about this. I just feel like I want to learn for myself, and I don't want to discover through other people's discoveries. It's just the way that I am. But I was inspired to listen to some other people's videos that were sharing wisdom, and just to explore how they share wisdom and the types of wisdom that are being shared out there. And one video that captured my attention was I listened to what was a message from Kryon, and I was very altered by the message. I thought it was kind of a hokey video, but that was only at first because I allowed the message to continue to cycle through so I could give it my full experience. I could give it the full experience and give it an honest evaluation. And at the end, I actually felt the message was quite moving to me. It was quite inspiring. And the message was about energy that is coming on, hitting planet Earth, and how it is hitting planet Earth over the course of like 2012, 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 2017. And I think it was just so, I was at work and I was working, but I was also listening, so I was sort of absorbed and not absorbed at the same time. So just sort of picking out what was inspiring to me. But the message was really talking to old souls and telling old souls that it's time for you to stop letting what I want to do, what I feel like I need to be doing, stop letting that pass you by, to actually just jump on board the train and just go for it. What are you afraid of? That was really the message, and it was describing the way that old souls react towards society, and how old souls have a tendency to not pursue what it is that is their highest frequency, what we are capable of as old souls. We don't really pursue it because of our relationship with society and the way society makes us feel, and then we just sort of internalize who and what we are and just get frustrated about the world that we live in and try to disconnect from it as much as possible. That does not feed us joy. That does not align us with our greatest potential. And it was very strange that I would watch this video after I had that strange Andromedan message, and I've been choosing to focus on looking at all of the things that instill sort of an emotional reaction that is at a lower vibration, to choose to actually face the emotion and to choose to say I love that the challenges that I've endured have taken place. So I do that now every single day. I've been working on actually allowing angels to embrace me. I do that more and more often, all the time, but I've been really doing it a lot right now, and really making connections, because I don't, some people really have a very sincere love and alignment with angels, and I think that is so awesome but it's so peculiar because I find angels to be sort of like very peculiar anomalies in the universe, because they're not spirit or alien. They're something completely their own kind, and they're like the super balancers of an infinite universe. They are the super balancers of all things, and they're pure unconditional love. So they want to share love with you on a level that is so altering, so changing, so healing, so profound, so good, so loving. And so angels are very awesome for spiritual healers to use angels in healing, because angels are so, that is their edge, that is their, that is what they do, that is their awesome skill. And but I've been choosing to align with archangels, and we live in an infinite universe. Are these, like, who are all the archangels? Where do these archangels come from? Why? What created them? I have all these questions just like anybody else has about angels. But I've been going with it. And so I've been calling Archangel Michael to help me on my spiritual journey. And actually allowing him to be a part of my experience, even though I don't really understand I don't know how to comprehend what an archangel is. See, I'm a spiritual speaker. I'm telling you very honestly that I have awareness, but I also have a humanness that has a need to just understand everything as best as I can, and I try to understand things in a way that simplifies it and helps others to understand too. So what I'm sharing with you is the best I can understand about angels up to this point. So these are just the things that I've been doing. And so just allowing the benevolent alien beings to actually come into my world and share healing with me, help me find ways to raise my vibration, and it's been working hardcore. And so I stumbled upon this message from Kryon, which I thought was a very peculiar thing. I didn't even know that he was talking about time capsules in that, and apparently he was, but maybe he wasn't in that. I'm going to tell you where this confusion comes from. It's because last night, so I've been unable to stop thinking about this entity. I've been quite immersed in trying to comprehend who and what he is as a spirit, as a soul, inhabiting a body or whatever he is. And I haven't done any Google search or tried to understand more about him. And I want to really hone in the video to discussing this being. And so this is the hard part, because I wasn't expecting what took place. So last night, so I'll tell you that he's a very ancient energy. And as a very ancient energy, you feel the ancientness in it. It is not simple. It is completely complex, very complex energy. And that is where the sensation of ancient comes from. It is super complex. It is like it's like you have a maze, and you have a simple maze that you could go through. That is a young soul. It is beginning, end, young soul. Complex ancient souls, like, oh my God, I have no freaking clue how to get through this giant maze that takes up 10,000 pages of crazy. That is what an ancient soul is in comparison to a young soul. So you can feel the difference by the sensation of energy. So totally old soul. I'm not evaluating any of this based on, I actually sincerely just evaluate it as a third party, with no emotion of whether I like him or I don't like him, despite how the message influenced me. I choose to evaluate him for who and what he is. And so anyway, he's been well aware of me contemplating him, because he is at a higher frequency. You don't realize how simple human beings are, and how simple our minds are in comparison to how advanced other beings are and what their awareness is. So you literally would be like, we have to use a calculator to do simple math even. They would be like supercomputers that don't need a computer to have this sort of awareness and understanding. They are supercomputers times 10,000. So they perceive what they see and understand, and their awareness is so super, is so connected with the infinite, that what they can do just seems like unimaginable to us. Like, that, how can you just, that just sounds impossible that you can do that. That is how awesome that some of these alien beings are. And he definitely feels like more so an alien than a pure spirit. But he obviously has the ability to astral travel or leave his body and go places. So he has a connection with an infinite awareness. So he can sense and experience all the different connections that are taking place with people thinking about him. This isn't scary. This isn't bad. This isn't anything. He actually truly is sharing a message to help human beings. However you choose to perceive it is your own deal. And gosh darn it, the lighting is really bothering me right now. It's very strange, like bright, and maybe I'm getting hot because sometimes when I share information, I feel the frequency raising its vibration, so I get super hot. So I'm like super hot right now. But anyway, sorry. So his message was the one video that I watched was meaningful to me. I will just say that. So last night he entered into my home. I could sense his being there. So I chose to acknowledge that he was there, and so he asked me to search him on the internet. This was after I made the video that I just uploaded today, because it just took forever to upload. I had to go to bed, so I couldn't do it until this morning. But so he had me search him. The first thing that came up in that alignment was there was something about time capsules, which I was like, what is this thing about time capsules? Because I talked about time capsules in that video. I had no freaking clue what a time capsule is. I don't know anything about that. So that was very odd connection. And then there's a website dedicated to sort of overturning that he is not sharing wisdom with the planet, that he is a bad entity. And so I sort of get very disagreeable about human beings need to override what is because I actually felt changed and altered, that his message did resonate with me. And it won't resonate with everybody. It won't. That's okay. It's like you can like baby kittens, or you just don't like cats. I mean, that everybody has their things that we connect with or we don't connect with. You like sports or you just don't. I mean, that is the way that it is with resonating with a voice or spirit. You either connect with it or you don't. And I definitely had a connection with this. And so he was showing me these things, and then I pulled up an image of him, which I hadn't done this yet, which was a strange thing. I'd taken time to lay down and connect with him, and I was like, how come I can't focus on you for more than 3 minutes? Your energy is so weird to me that I actually cannot pay attention to you for more than like 3 minutes. That is very weird. That is very, very weird for me. I didn't know why that would be the case at all. And he asked me if I knew what he looked like, because I didn't know what he looked like. I hadn't done anything of that kind. And I was like, well, I had happened to watch Star Wars yesterday, which was also kind of fueling my video yesterday that I uploaded today. And I don't want to say too much, but there is a supreme being in it that is part of the dark side. And super, super ancient energy, super aligned with a high vibration of ancient energy, but aligned also with a dark shadow energy. And because of the size of the being was really reflective of sort of the ancient experience of his soul, was the sort of like a metaphor to me of how profound the being was. And so I told him that he reminded me of that being from Star Wars. And then I saw a secondary picture, and I said, "Do you look kind of like this, though?" And it was a blue man, and he was wearing a cape, and he said that they both were reflections of him, and were very good interpretations, and that he is what I feel that most resonates with him. So I told him that he most resonates with the giant alien being from Star Wars, and I didn't have any experience of disagreement with that, because I felt such a profound love and kindness in the interaction. But it was so hard to connect with him and to stay focused. I kept wanting to fall asleep, which is very strange. And I discovered more about why this morning. But so after I had a little discussion with him, I chose to eat dinner, and everything just kept getting later and later, and I just kept getting more tired, and I just ended up eating my dinner in quietness. And I talked to him some more, and that's when I did the search, which is when I saw an image of him as a blue person sort of floating, and it said something like magnetic service. And I was like, what the hell is magnetic service? What does that mean? That is just weird. But I don't care I just care that this one instance was meaningful and changed me in a positive way, and that is my relationship. With it doesn't matter what anybody says, or because what matters is that I can make even more of an impact and even more of a difference because of that one message that you shared, and that is all that matters to me. And also because you're very peculiar to me, and your energy, which is very profound in comparison to other energies that I have felt before, so it was refreshing. And so I last night then I sort of chose to channel him, just so I could feel actually him enter and just feel his energy, and then discover more about him through a connection of us as one, sort of one. So channeling is not, people really, people are very, very sensitive to that word, channel, and people are very sensitive to the thought of another spiritual entity entering your body. People don't like that idea. And people discern aliens as the devil, discern channeling as the devil, and you're only going to channel devil beings, and blah, 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 and that's all a bunch of hokey pokey, hoogle-dee-boo, or whatever you want to call it. And you can channel the devil. Yes, you can. You can absolutely do that. If you choose to do that, if you choose that is what you want to channel, then that is what you will channel. But if you choose to channel high frequency, if you say, I am a part of the oneness, I am part of the divine high frequency, I am part of the highest frequency in the universe, and I choose only to experience beings that tolerate the highest frequency. And that is what I choose to align with, and that is the message I choose to experience and to share and be a part of. And I ask that I be protected by angelic beings of light and archangels, and you can just protect yourself with an army of high frequency spiritual beings, and they will not allow anything low to enter into your energy field. Not at all. No way. And so that is how you safeguard yourself. You don't have to channel the nightmares of the universe. Just because we're human beings and we do live in a chaotic kind of low vibrational world doesn't mean that high frequency beings cannot enter and be a part of your soul and be a part of your physical body and share wisdom with you. This is beautiful. We are souls inhabiting bodies, and as souls we are already in oneness. So as an individual human, it sounds kind of freaky that you would intertwine with another soul inside your actual body. But this is not weird. As a soul in a spirit world, this is not a weird thing. And we are already combined. We are already intertwined and connected with every single expression in a divine and infinite universe. And that even means from highest to lowest. It is all sort of intertwined as one. And that is probably hard for some people to digest, that their soul could be in oneness with the nightmares of the universe. But you need to have life, and you need to have death. You need to have snakes, and you need to have bunny rabbits. You can't have an infinite universe without light and without dark. And you have to be in oneness with all, and accept and acknowledge that oneness exists, and that it is beautiful. The universe created the challenges to help us comprehend the infinite mirror, comprehend our souls more. The universe wanted to create the lowest and the highest frequencies. It has to. It has to do this. It has to be all the frequencies of existence to be a creation. It has to be. And it has to be in oneness with everything. It has to be. So I was rather surprised, because I was still, even as I was trying to channel him, I was extremely challenged by his energy. And I fell asleep, and so I woke up this morning around 4, and I was sort of ready to get up and do stuff. And but I kept having this tugging feeling like I needed to go back and try to channel Kryon again, to just try to do this one more time. So I did, and the experience was definitely shocking to me. And what happened, I don't know how anybody channels this being, because his existence is so unfathomable in an abyss, in a deep, dark abyss, is really where it is existent. That is the part that I didn't want to tell you, because I don't want you to be scared. This being is actually sharing a loving message, and you're going to tell me that you just told me he lives in the deep, dark abyss. He's not sharing a loving message, Abby. Hello? Hello. I just didn't fall off the turnip truck yesterday. I know I've been experiencing a spirit world for an extremely long time. I know what love feels like. I know what hatred and deception feel like. I know. I have suffered from depression for 20 years. I know all about darkness. Trust me. And so I'm not telling you that you have to follow this guy. I'm not telling you that you have to have a connection with him or channel him or anything like that. I'm just sharing my experience, and you can do whatever you choose to do. But he did share a message through YouTube that got through to me and altered me in an extraordinarily positive way. So I'm going to tell you, Spirit World is telling me to describe exactly what they're saying to me, to you, because it is very important that I describe this, and it is learning for us both, they say. So I'm going to channel high frequency. They're telling me, okay, so he is magnetic service. We don't perceive ourselves as magnets. We don't perceive ourselves as, we perceive ourselves as physical bodies, and then our understanding of a soul is literally like a layer of energy that exists sort of in and around us, and that is our perception. We don't perceive a soul as being profound light beams of light, profound beams of light, spiritual flame, all kinds of stuff that we can't see, perceive, or even think is what a soul is. And they're showing me that we are, as even souls, magnets as well, and with polarities, positive and negative polarities. And his soul is sort of like, I keep seeing it as just round, and what feels like heavy, dense metal, and it is sort of interlocking pieces, and you sort of turn the coin and the pieces alter and change in their locks. So he's sort of like an odd lock of very dense, heavy metal. And my magnet is sort of like, it is like super, like flames, fire, everything going in and out. And very different, completely different than his. Very different than dense heavy metal. And mine is more like super high, super sparkly flames of light, going in and out, creating and recreating themselves, and altering their flow of energy. And it's different, too different. You can't, what is it? Apples to oranges. This is sort of like apple to potato or something. Completely different, and that they're telling me that is why I experienced him in the way that I did, because he isn't even close to as light and airy as I am, because that is not his existence. But that doesn't mean that he isn't in oneness with the divine influence of unconditional love. And so when I had channeled him, I felt myself go so far down like a lead weight. And that's why I kept falling asleep, and I could not focus on him for very long, because his vibration and his himself is different. And even when I was, when I had told Kryon, I said, Kryon, I allow you to enter into my energy field that I may experience and comprehend you better. And I felt him being very perplexed as to how to do this. And the spirit world told me that that he is trying to comprehend my magnet, and that our magnets are different, and he has not discovered how to enter into my energy field based on what is my magnet. And And I was like, I don't have a clue what you're talking about, but okay, I'll just go with that. And so anyway, he did eventually enter in, and it was so heavy. The feeling was so heavy. I was so exhausted that I literally I fell right back to sleep. I woke up again and tried to get up. I literally could not even get up. I couldn't even, it was so lead weight and heavy, I couldn't even get up. I don't know how any human being can channel, but you obviously have to be a magnet aligned with his magnet. He is a magnetic service. He is service. He is trying to help us. However you perceive help is for you. That's for you. They're telling me, Spirit World is telling me that not to be afraid to share this experience because it is truly a message of love. It is truly me trying to comprehend what I experienced and me trying to share my experience with others, and allowing others then to decide how they choose to comprehend or what they choose to believe in. And so finally, around 7, which that is, I mean, I woke up originally at 4 and I was ready to do some painting and some other things, and I couldn't get up. I literally kept trying to get up and falling back asleep, and I'd have very brief conversations because that was the whole point. I wanted to comprehend him because his message had meant so much to me, and I recognized his soul has been incarnated in bodies at the same time as my soul has been incarnated in bodies, and we've had experiences together, and his voice has somehow found a way to get to me, to help me. And so here in this lifetime, even though we are not in the same planet, in the same bodies or whatever, we are still incarnating together because we are having an interaction with each other. And so finally at 7, I was like, Kryon, I can't tolerate you. I can't even wake up. I feel like I'm gonna have to go back to bed because you're so heavy. You're so heavy to me. And he was truly, honestly, I was actually afraid that that I wasn't going to be able to release him because my soul is so super high and the lead weight was so heavy. It is sort of like the lowest bass noise that you could possibly fathom, and it has no sound at all. That is how low the sound and the density of his expression is in comparison to mine. Is super high frequency, super high sounds, and I've never met a being so loving and kind at a frequency that literally was like a lead weight in the darkness of an abyss. And he showed me, and I was like, how come you live in the darkness? How do you do this? How can you be loving and be in darkness? I did not understand this at all. And he said, I travel the roads of darkness to share the world of light. And it is not for me to make sense of right now, but I will make sense of it in time. And not to be concerned or confused, but this is important that I have this awareness. It was important that I channeled Kryon so I can understand that there are even what is like a very low frequency that can actually channel unconditionally loving messages and help. That was a very sincere reality that he actually is here to help human beings, even though his vibration felt like a super lead weight and I was in the deepest abyss of the ocean. And even deeper than that. I'd never been so deep in all my life. And I couldn't hardly even stand or move my human body because I was so deep. And he showed me 2 things. He showed me literally orbs, sort of rings of light, but also traveling through wormholes in the dark. And he was not terrifying by any means. He was not scary. He was not trying to harm me. He was not trying to inspire fear in me. He literally was sort of standoffish in the way that he wanted me to just sort of, he did not want to inspire any pain or suffering in me at all. And he was very kind about trying to get away from me when I told him, I need you to get away from me. And that is a very good sign because dark, evil spirits, I mean, they have to leave too. But that is for another conversation. That is another conversation. I'm just talking about Kryon right now, which was very extraordinary being. And the other thing that he showed me was his experience is so slow or so low on a vibration that he gave me a beautiful gift. It was so beautiful because he'd heard. See, this is the meaning that I had experienced. This is me getting like teary-eyed because it was so loving. Because that is what love cannot be deception. Love that feels that healing like this. It was a healing experience. It was a profound gift of kindness and love. And you can't mimic that. You can't deceive. You can't create deceive. A devil cannot create healing. A devil cannot create loving, healing experiences. Demons cannot create loving, healing experiences. Demons can enhance your ego, can inspire you to make choices that are not in alignment with the highest frequency of love. So they can inspire you to harm others for the betterment of yourself, thinking that they are helping you, when they are actually just harming everybody else. I mean, that is deception. That is not healing. That is the devil. That is demon. That is draconian race. He is not at all draconian race. He is not even remotely close to that. So ancient and profound. He just happens to be like a super heavy, hardcore lead weight. But the beautiful gift that he shared with me was, so he saw my video, and I just uploaded it. And in it I talked about what water means to me. And so he showed me what he can do with water. And his vibration is so slow and so low and so deep and so heavy. He stopped the rain from falling. And this is going to be hard to say this because it meant so much to me. But he handed me the droplets of water like crystals, and that was very meaningful. I don't mean to be a crybaby, but it meant a lot to me. It was a symbol of love. And so that was my experience with Kryon, okay? See, I'm cryoning. I'm gonna just, sorry, I'm not a crybaby, but that did mean a lot to me. Okay, so he showed me what he is capable of doing with stopping the water from falling and then crystallizing it, and gave it to me as a gift. That was so beautiful. It was the most beautiful thing. And that was his power. That was what he could do. And what I could do with my super high frequency was actually meld water, spiritual water and flame together to create an orb of light to heal people. That was what my spiritual gifts are. That is what my frequency can do. That was the birth of my soul, to do stuff like this. The birth of his soul is to do stuff like that. To be able to do stuff like that. Literally stop the rain from falling and crystallize it, because he is so slow, is so low, so dense, that he could crystallize water itself to turn it into a crystal and give it to me. That was so baffling and beautiful. And so, anyway, I basically told him very meekly, because I was in so low that it was not healthy. It was not aligned with my frequency. It was creating issues with me. And I told him, at Kryon, I need you to leave my atmosphere because you're making me not feel good. It is so low and so slow that it felt like it took forever. And he did as I asked him to. And without any sort of, he didn't want me to feel pain or suffering of any kind. That was not his goal. And just a different, he's a lead weight and I am like sparklers. They don't align at all. They're not. That my magnet is not at all what his magnet is. They're two different ones. And so in the process of him leaving, I had to go through all these different alterations in my physical experience. And sort of, I used the orb that I created last night to help, created at some point in time. I talked about it last night, and as a means to help push him out of my energy field. And in the process, the orb that I created, you can watch my video that I just uploaded, and you can use the orb as well, because I created the orb for all people to use as a healing gift to every creation in the physical, spiritual universe. So the orb then combined with my form and literally sort of like created a super vibration to just push him out of me. And then I just went soaring super high. And I saw myself literally blasting out of what was like jello or something, and it was black ball in the depths, and I came out of it and bursted out of it, and then I traveled through so many layers of darkness to get up to my soul house, which is very high. And then I went into my soul house so I could align with my vibration again and then feel normal again. I'm totally fine and normal again. But that is Kryon. That is Kryon, and he is a very heavy duty weightful energy, and I'm not sure how anybody channels him, but he does have a very beautiful, very meaningful message. And I was aligned with it, and so it is your choice. I'm not going to tell you whether you should listen or believe or anything like that. This was just my experience. This was what how I was able to comprehend him and what the experience was like. And you can discern however you choose to discern about him, but be open-minded, okay? Just be open-minded, and allow yourself just to let the information in, and to have a feeling, a reaction. And if the reaction is, I just didn't dig it, I didn't really feel it, that's okay. Move on to the next one. See what else is out there. His voice is going to resonate with some of us, and it's not going to resonate with all of us. And what I'm sharing with you right now, do not at all analyze him based on what I just said about him being so low. Analyze him based on what Spirit explained was the difference between our souls, and that we are all literally magnets. We attract what it is that that is our reflection, and these are all magnetic things that are taking place, whether we have a clue that is happening or not. Everything that happens is a magnet. Everything is, and they're telling me that I'm actually creating more of awareness of about how time exists and how people travel through time, even though time is the illusion. But it has to do with polarity and magnets, and we are already the magnets. We are already the polarities and the magnets, and we don't perceive ourselves as such. We don't realize that we are already the magnets. And they're telling me that this is also part of my learning too. So anyway, that's all I'm going to share for right now. I have so many things to share. I have a huge list because I've been getting requests about things to talk about, topics to talk about, and so I want to create videos to help others, not to just share my experiences, but actually share wisdom on how to do things. It's to better enhance your spiritual experiences. So this is all I have for right now, and I'm sort of overjoyed to get to share this message with you. And I shared one final, after I was able to release and separate from Kryon, and I still, even though he was so heavy, I still took time after I became me again to actually share and visualize love, a heart of love coming from my soul energy and into his soul energy, to say thank you for the kindness and the message that you were able to get through to me, that had altered my perception and changed me in a very positive way. And so even though that we are different and have different existences, I am still thankful for you, and I share love with you. And so that is all. See, I'm getting hot again. So that is a whole thingamabob. But I have more videos to share, more discussions to be had, but that is more on my experience. So thank you very much for watching.